the big island of Hawaii consists of a combination of rugged lava rock and white, black, or green sand beaches. The bottom rapidly falls away from the water's edge, putting great marlin fishing very accessible to virtually any kind of boat that can carry a rod and a reel. We'll be fishing off the Kona coast aboard our charter boat, the Sundown. Mariah Smith, our guest angler, is an international model, and at least for today, she's going to trade in the glitz and glamour of the runway for the fighter jet.
I was born in a little small village of Roermond, which is in the Netherlands. I loved Holland. Very cool country, very cool people, a lot of culture, but it's cold. So I prefer Hawaii, and I've been here since I was 15. I was scouted in Honolulu by an agent from Milan, and I went to Europe and did the whole modeling circuit. But I really found that I love Hawaii, and I love living here, and all my best friends are here, and my favorite places to go, and I really love it here, so that's why I moved back. I wanted to get into yoga because it's very good for not only your physical body, but also your soul, and it helps you to be more centered and calm, and it's been amazing. I see the results, so I think it's something I'm going to continue on for the rest of my life. Hi.
Miss Mariah, how you doing?
Good.
You ready to go out and chase the pesky marlin fish for a while?
Yes. I'm going to catch a big one.
Well, there has been some big ones running around out there. You never know how that's going to work out. But you don't catch any of them until you get your hooks wet.
Well, when I first meet somebody that's going to be on the boat and going to be doing some angling, now this is probably sick charter boat thinking here, but when I first meet them, I'm thinking, how are they going to do on a fish? Are they physically capable? What are we going to have to do as a crew on that boat to help them do what they want to do out there, which is catch a marlin? And when I met Mariah the very first time, and she was getting on the boat, obviously she's a very attractive girl, but that's not where my head was. My head was, this girl's physically fit. She's ready to go. All we really got to do is maybe give her some basics as far as how everything works, as far as the procedure goes, and she's going to be ready. Your shoulders back,
And see how that starts putting pressure on the rod? Just straighten up your back, good posture, like that. Oops, and here you come.
Well, I got to the boat and I was excited and a little nervous because you don't know what you're in for. Does this keep me on the boat?
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, we keep you on the boat.
Okay. I was a little shocked. I thought you would be strapped into the seat so that, to keep you in the boat. But you're strapped onto the fish and not into the seat. So that was really like, okay.
We haven't lost anybody all week, don't worry.
We kind of knew right from the start that things were going to go pretty well for us. We had, 2 days before the full moon, some beautiful tides throughout the day, which is the day that if you could have picked that day in the calendar, when do you want to go fishing, you would have picked that day. For us here in Kona, we're almost always fishing for that giant fish because that's what's in the back of our mind. That's why most of us have moved here. It isn't a numbers fishery, it's more of a quality big fish type of a scene. And so when you're out there, you have to pretty much, even though there could be predominantly some small fish around, you always have to be ready for that big fish. And this particular day, we didn't worry about anything but the big ones. It's the time of year and the time of the moon phase that we were really expecting to see some better sized fish.
All right.
Any billfish, even if it's a 40-pound sailfish or it's a 600-pound blue, when it gets closer to the boat, the risk to personal injury gets greater also. They have a fin that can do a lot of damage on the back, and that tail slapping around out there. Their body is just one big massive muscle. They've got a pointed thing on their nose. They've got a bill out there that if it scrapes you can reel up skin. If it sticks you, it's like a spear. So you just want to stay very, very ready. Everybody has got to stay ready. The crew, the driver, to keep the boat out from on top of the fish or out from under the fish if the fish happens to be coming up jumping. It's just one of those times when it's anxious. You just need to stay very, very, very on guard to handling whatever comes out.
Mariah has a blue marlin in her future. When we come back, we'll see how she handles it.
Ooh, really pulling.
Our angler is international model Mariah Smith. Now, Mariah already has an impressive list of credits, such as appearing on Baywatch, modeling for Paloma Picasso Jeans and Cosmo Grease. Now she's hoping to add catching a blue marlin to the list. I'm Captain Norm Isaacs, and along with my son, Captain Darren Isaacs, we're fishing off Hawaii's Kona coast aboard our charter boat, the Sundowner.
That was a good explosion there. There he's jumping. Whoa, look at him go. All right, big. Nice 500-pounder. Yep. Yeah, nice fish, nice fish. That's it. Beautiful. Keep up with him, Mariah. Beautiful. You've got tons of pressure. You've got tons of pressure.
When that fish actually hit, both Darren and I were looking out the front of the boat. We were looking at the birds flying around over there, looking at the current rip, trying to figure out what to do next. Darren happened to turn around just in time to see a big hole in the water where the lure used to be.
Now, whenever that sucker stops pulling on you, you need to get some line as fast as you can, okay? You're in there. This is awesome. That's what we're here to do.
You know, it was ripping 30 pounds of drag. It took off 300 yards of line in like 20 seconds. So it was like, yeah, this is looking pretty good. This is what we wanted to see.
Ah! Oh my God!
Okay, now watch your level winding.
Okay, let's go there. He's jumping out there. Look at him jump. All right, let's go get him. We're going to go get him. Get her cranking.
My only thought was like, oh my goodness. I prayed for like a 250-pound fish maybe, but it was definitely big. And I was like, okay, here we go. It's like a bullfight or something, you know, you got to face your fears.
That away. Now this is what it's all about. Now this is the sprint. You're doing so good, Mariah. You're doing so good. You're getting so much line back.
How's that arm feeling?
When we were soaking up that first run, you know, when that first run does this thing, the fish is out there 300 yards, it's a very important time for boat driver and crew and angler to be able to jump on that situation, soak up that initial run if you can, because that fish is still probably on the surface. And when you have someone like Mariah who is so fit that could help you, like there was no reason why we had to slow down until the fish went down, because she could just take it up. You know, she was so physically strong.
Just hold on what you got.
I'm holding on to the boat.
Could be a little bit bigger than 500. Doing so good, Mariah. Doing really good.
Now it's at this point, and this is almost without exception, it's at this point somebody who's on their first fish in this situation forgets everything they've been told for a few minutes.
Just like come up and get some cranks. Come up and get some line.
Now crank as you go up.
That's okay. Never use two hands. Never use two hands.
Okay.
Okay, and the reason for that is that your forearm of this hand always hits the drag lever, and just so many times we'll knock into free spool and we'll lose it. So
My natural instinct was to try and like reel with both hands because you're like, oh my God, I don't want to lose this fish, and you're reeling it in, and then all of a sudden it just takes the line out again, and you're just watching it going, oh my God, I have to bring all that line back in.
that's it. You want to just kind of get into a rhythm. Don't see, right now you're just winching yourself, and you're really making it hard. You want to push back and just drop it once. Get a couple good cranks.
That's it,
Now
that's
stop.
it, good. You can do the drill in the slip or without a fish on there until the world looks level. You're never going to have all that timing down. It takes a real fish out there before you're really going to get that down. And after a few minutes of kind of fighting the harness and putting the hand in the wrong place, one thing or another, Mariah settled down and did a very good job on the fish.
There was a real downward pull on the rod, and a few times I was like, whoa, I don't know, like, am I gonna chicken out and be like, I can't do this? Oh, that's some water.
Sure.
This is hard work. No wonder fish is expensive.
Well, water break.
Let me tell you, Mariah, she's tough. There was very little you had to say to her as far as just, you know, watch out for your level winding, or you're doing a really good job, because she was so athletic and so in tune with her body that she could just do anything that she wanted.
So what do you think? You think your style of yoga has helped you out in this particular fight here?
Yes, my arm's going.
Uh-oh.
No.
Oh, wow.
Swimming.
Scared me there.
You scared me. Definitely scared me. She knew. She was like, no, it's that.
No problem.
We're getting to the point in this fight where everything gets more critical.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this is also where a lot of fish are lost. We'll be right back. Captain Norm Isaacs, and we're fishing off Hawaii's Kona coast. We're aboard our charter boat, the Sundowner, with Captain Darren Isaacs working the deck. That's easy to see by our angler. International model Mariah Smith was chosen for both the art of women and deep caliber. Mariah's been hooked up to a nice 400 to 500 pound blue marlin for a while. But she's still going strong, but she's getting a good workout.
Awesome. Just kind of concentrate on keeping that line on one of those corners. That's it, that's it, that's it. Yeah.
When I really had that moment where my arms started to just kind of lock up a little, and they feel like your body starts sending you signals like, no, cannot, no more. And I think you just, something happens, you block it out and you just keep going because, you know, you got to finish.
Got a little contest here.
Tell you what.
There are a couple pretty ladies, one on each end of the string. You ought to be getting where we can see a flash or two down there.
As the fish gets closer to the boat, the tension starts ratcheting up a little bit. Now you know you've got that fish hooked, you know you've gone through what you've gone through to get here, but so much of the time, that's where the problems start. For one thing, things get more critical. I already mentioned the slack you can put in the line, the hole that the hook made is a little bit bigger, so you know that the possibility for that fish coming undone is greater. And like I said, the tension just builds. I mean, you've got all this effort invested in getting that fish to this point. You just don't want to lose it in the last 30 feet.
Ooh, really pulling.
A little move around, isn't it? Fish swimming around on you a little bit.
It's getting close.
Yeah, just kind of keep on going.
Coming to you. Get him while you can. Get it.
See that change in pressure there? Fish just kind of swim at you a little bit. Yeah, so it's going to try and wants to maybe swim up a little bit on us.
When you look down there at that fish and all you see is a dark shape, you know, he's not on his side. You know that he could conceivably go a little bit crazy right there, particularly when they start lining up. And this fish, as it got up, his pec fins lit up. He's still pretty much straight up and down. And you're thinking, you know, this fish is just liable to go wacko here any minute.
Keep on cranking. Oh, the pecs is lit up really well.
It gets real critical to be able to move the boat quick. It gets critical for the angler to be able to respond to what the fish does quick. This fish didn't do that. This fish stayed down and it just dug all the way up to the point that we could get it up and put a tag in.
Stay ready, Mariah. I can come back to you anytime. Okay.
What'd you call that guy, about 425, 450?
That's about what I would call him. Why don't you go take a look?
I was ready for an hour or more, and the fish, it kind of, I don't know, it wasn't jumping when it got closer to the boat. It kind of, I hope I wore it out. I don't know if it was really that. Maybe it just was a mellow fish. But yeah, it was like having a baby.
Yeah, still got some bite.
Okay, fish.
Okay, you want to revive him a little right there?
See you later.
Bye. Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Absolutely outstanding.
What do you think about that?
All right, get going. You just did a great job on it. Great job. See, doesn't do this stuff. What, a few hours riding around and boom, there's your, what, was that 4 1/4, something like that, I would guess?
4 1/4, 450, somewhere right there.
Beautiful fish, beautiful specimen. And you notice when he got on there, when you got the reel in the chair, that line was just going, wah, just screaming out there.
It amazes me you can catch something bigger than you, and
That's like,
hold on to it.
it's like 3 or 4 times
Yeah.
bigger than you. Well, we have a little everything with the bent butt rods, with the harness in the chair and everything. We can move the boat around. It gives us a little bit of advantage. Without that, we wouldn't have a craft.
That was easy. No.
Well, let's go do it again. We'll go pick on his big sister this time, Hot Shot. Okay, Hot Shot. Be careful what you ask for. You're liable to get it.
Mariah says she wants some more, but by the way she's rubbing her arms, I'm not real sure she's serious about that. We'll be right back to see if she's down to round 2. So far, our international model Mariah Smith has battled a 400-plus pound marlin to the boat, which we tagged and released. I'm Captain Norm Isaacs, and we're aboard our charter boat fishing off Hawaii's Big Island. Captain Darren Isaacs is working the deck.
Hey, guess what? I caught one. No, it was 450 pounds, approximately. I know, it was huge.
All right.
I need a,
What do we got going here?
Not quite sure. Okay. You got on the 80-pound chest this time. Decided to get a little more tricky on yourself. All right, you ready? You're in there.
Well, that fish isn't picking on a rookie anymore. Okay, one hand on the reel, one hand on the crank. Be ready to do. As soon as it stops, you got to start.
I was still recovering from the first fish, but it had been a little while, so it was actually perfect. And there was another bite. And this one was really a mystery because nobody saw what it was. It's definitely, ooh, it's heavy.
This one is just being a mystery. You know, we don't even know what this is. This thing ate. My dad and I were just totally just talking story up there. We weren't even looking. And not quite sure what we have on here.
For this fish's size, it was amazingly strong. A lot of the spearfish that we catch don't put up near the scrap that this guy did. It hauled off some line against a pretty good drag. For whatever reason, it was a real feisty fish, but she clipped into it very well.
Coming up, we can start back on it here in a minute. No time like the present.
Mariah got in the chair, and you could really tell that she had learned a lot from the 400-pounder because she was just in a groove, didn't have to tell her a thing. She was a pro.
Good job, good job. Let's turn that handle even harder. Just go for it. All right, yeah.
Coming up, that fish is going to be coming up here in a second.
This guy shot. Okay, it's real close. Great job.
It's a
Great
tough
job.
one.
Keep on cranking.
Woo! Is that a spearfish?
Yes, it is. It's
A good size one. That is probably the feistiest spearfish I have ever seen.
It was still putting up a great fight, and when it finally came up to the boat, though, and I saw it, it was so beautiful. It looked like a fan.
Hey, guys.
Anytime a first-time angler can say, yeah, I've been fishing one time and I've caught a 400-pounder and a spearfish, they're doing pretty darn well. You know, not only have they caught a trophy blue, they've caught one of the rarest billfish in the world.
Nice work.
One of the really neat things, it's just little tiny things, just one of those things that tickles my fancy. We got back in, you spend all day out there riding around. I mean, you're tired when you get back in, even if it's flat water. And by the time you've been out there for 7 or 8 hours, it's a bit tiring. So I asked Mariah how she felt about the day. When she was ready to go again, she said, how about tomorrow? In other words,
I want to go
that's
tomorrow.
fishing for you. Go out there all day long. Yeah, I caught a couple fish, but I was expecting to say, yeah, we'll have to do this again sometime. She said, how about tomorrow? That's good.
The blue that was probably 425 to 450 pounds ate a black plunger made by Steve Fountain here in Hawaii. It was rigged with a single quick rig hook with a 15-degree cant to the eye. For what it's worth, this lure was made with a rattle in it. The spearfish ate a baby locknut made by Aloha Lures. It was rigged with a single 9/0 Mustang.
Did a job on him.
Look for more big game fishing action next week on Big Game Fishing in the Wood. I'm Captain Norm Isaacs, and we'll see you there.